Okay guys, here we go. Video we've all been waiting for. Pretty much me putting everything in the gearbox, including all new parts. Going over new parts, I have a big dragon, pretty much the same thing as SHS and Element. It's a ball bearing spring guide, costed me $9. I was supposed to get me an M105 Element spring, but the person I bought it from is actually out of stock, so they sent me a Systema M100 instead. I got me some JG gears for $20. You can probably find them cheaper on other websites, but it was the only place that had them in stock at the time, and I was just trying to get them pretty quick. So I got me a nice set of those. I've used them in the past, so I know they're good. I got some white lithium grease, which is going to be for my gear sets, my bushings. Then I got super lube, which is going to be just a small bit on the piston rails and on the inside of the cylinder. I've got just some standard P4 silicone oil. That's going to be for my O-rings, like on the piston head. Just the simple O-rings like that, nothing too big. And the only other thing, well, I'm using my same GMP shims I've had for like a year or two. I still have a bunch of them left, so I'm going to just use those to shim up the gun. But, yeah, it's pretty much, if you see the last video, go watch it. That's where I showed you my compression setup, where I put my Echo 1 piston head on my stock SEMA piston, new Element O-ring air nozzle, and then I Teflon the cylinder head. So all that stuff's pretty good, and look at how good that compression is. Really good. So I can't wait to get all this in, and here we go. I'm going to just pause the video here, and in the meantime I'm going to grease up the gearbox. Or actually, I'll shim it first. That's a good idea. Okay guys, gearbox is all shimmed, everything's good. So now I'm going to go ahead and take off the gears. And I'm going to grease the gearbox. So basically, super lube. I'm just going to put a little bit on both sides of the gearbox shell. And when I say that, I mean the rail. Just one dot on each. Spread it out. Just like that. Then, I don't know if you can see that in frame. Here's the other side. Put one more dot right there. That's a little bit too much, so there we go. And then I'm going to get my cylinder. Just get a little bit on my finger. Very small amount. Also get some of the excess off the piston rails. And that, we're just going to put that all inside. Also, make sure you clean out everything you do beforehand. I cleaned out my gearbox. Cleaned out pretty much everything I could have cleaned out. Okay guys, now we're done with this lube. Now you're going to make sure you get all that grease off your hands, because you don't want to mix greases together on things they don't need to be on. So now we got your piston head O-ring. Just put a little bit up there, move it around, nothing too big. And also, just do the cylinder head piece where the air nozzle goes on. Rub that in real good. You don't need to have too much, just enough so you put some there. Then, your gear grease, I use white lithium, AGS brand. I have no idea what it stands for, I'll be honest with you. And all you're going to do is put a little bit where the gears are going to be, and then also a little bit on the gears. So, I'm just going to put very small dots around the gearbox shell. Kind of rub that in. Then I'm also going to use that on the other side. As I said, you don't want to do it like how you get the gun stock. You want to not have too much grease, because you'd be surprised how much you only need. Okay guys, here we go. Just kind of speed things up. I've already put in my piston head, cylinder head, tappet plate, air nozzle. And I'm about to put my last gear in. Just making sure everything's good right here. There we go. Finally, the bevel gear. Then I'm going to just check angle of engagement to make sure everything's still easy peasy. Okay. Okay, it looks good. I ain't going to keep messing with it. Okay. That would have been pretty funny to shoot the piston back without a spring or a spring guide. Probably would have made some damage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again to save some more time. Okay guys, here we go. The momento of truth. There is one drastic, unfortunate event, as always, with this being Whatchavlogs. Something horrible has to go wrong, or it just wouldn't be Whatchavlogs. And in this case, it just happened to be that damn Chinese motor. High speed, X high tech, they're always a hit and miss. I thought I had a hit this time, and the piece that pushes the brush in, the one that came with it came bad. The brush, to my knowledge, was okay from looking at it. But yeah, here's the piece that pushes it in. As you see, I don't know if you can tell, but it completely broke off. So I tried putting the one on my stock motor on there, and then it started smoking, and I thought it almost caught on fire there. And that was only after doing 5 shots on semi. So I just put the stock motor back in there, and everything's fine. So here's an initial test, and keep in mind this is the stock motor, and yeah. And keep in mind I will be getting a Garter high-speed motor. I've already ordered it, so. I know it sounds pretty much stock, but I've got everything in the gearbox the way I want it, so all I gotta wait is for the high-speed motor to come in. Next you'll see the gun all the way put together, and maybe a small FPS test. So here we go. Keep in mind this is with an M100 spring, so I was surprised myself. I was thinking 350, and I'm getting 377. 373. 380. 381. Okay guys, so here we go. Pretty much an internal conclusion for now. I went from whatever, it was either an M110 or an M120 stock spring to an M100. Element air nozzle. Echo 1 piston head with a nice O-ring on it. JG gears. So really nothing much to really do anything to the rate of fire, and as you saw I stayed exactly at the same rate of fire I was getting before, right at about 12, so rate of fire didn't change, but compression went up a lot because, you know, I changed from an M110 or an M120 to an M100, and I'm still getting 375 FPS. So that's really nice. The gun sounds a whole lot smoother than it did stock. I reshimmed, did everything I need to the gearbox. All I got to do now is wait for that Garter high speed. I knew I shouldn't have bought a X high tech motor. I just thought I'd give it a try, and look what happened. Disaster. So I know Garter's going to do me well because they got excellent quality control. But we're going to have to find that out next time when it comes in, sometime within the next week from this video. Okay guys, that's it. This has been a Whatchavlogs internals video on the Makr-9. I know, such a sexy gun. But until next time, I'm out.